Because of the pandemic, if you are carrying that sense of guilt and nervousness around sales, where you feel you don't want to burden people by pushing for sales of your product or service because people right now don't have that money, then in this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv, I'm going to give you a solution on how do you deal with that inner voice, that fear, that self-doubt, so that you can sell with a mindset of serving people. Apart from that, I'm also going to talk about how do you deal with the problem of inaction. There are so many people who learn so many things. You're probably reading books, attending trainings, watching videos. You're learning a lot, but you're not able to put them into action. In this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv, I'm going to tell you how do you approach taking action on what you've learned. The next thing that I'm going to talk about in this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv is the question of, do you choose high value products which will sell lesser quantities, or should you choose high volume products which go at a lesser price point? And lastly, in this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv, I'm also going to talk to you about how do you stay motivated and manage your focus in uncertain times. If you'd like answers to all these questions, then tune into episode number 90 of Get Real with Rajiv. Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 90 of Get Real with Rajiv. Like every single week, I'm going to be answering 4 questions, and today Bhakti is going to be the voice of your question. So Bhakti, what's the first question?
Our first question is from Neerav. How to be motivated throughout rather than in bursts in these challenging times? How to get Arjun-like focus in these challenging times regarding achievement of goals, dealing with uncertainty, new business not picking up, etc.
Well, Neerav, here's what I would say. If you're asking me how do you stay motivated all the time, let's understand what keeps us motivated. According to me, what keeps us motivated in business is progress. When we create progress, then our energy goes up, our motivation goes up, our willingness to take action also goes up. Now, the key is to understand what's not creating progress for you, or which area are you not creating progress in. Because as an entrepreneur, we thrive on progress. Now, this is where to create progress, even in challenging times where there's so much uncertainty around you, one of the things that I would recommend is you need to create effort goals as well as learning goals. You know, in most cases, we create result goals in business, where in every department we define what's the end result we want to achieve. But I feel when the going gets tough, and when there are limitations in what you can do, when there's uncertainty in the environment, and you still want to create progress, then the important aspect is to set clear effort goals. What are effort goals? Effort goals are goals where you are setting an objective or an end goal for the effort you will put in. So it's an input goal. What kind of action will you take in every single department? What kind of action will you take in sales? What kind of action will you take in marketing? What kind of action will you take with your existing customers? So you need to define that action that you will take for every single department as an effort goal, because you need to understand in uncertainty, the only thing that is in your control is the effort you put in. So effort goals is important to create that progress. And apart from effort goals, you also need to create and pursue learning goals in your business. Why do I say you need to create and pursue learning goals? Like you said, when there is uncertainty, the only way to deal with uncertainty is to adapt. And the only way to adapt is to learn. So you need to ask yourself, what are those new skills, new capabilities that we need to develop as a business so that the business can continue to create progress even in challenging times, even under restrictions or even under the uncertainties of the pandemic. So my recommendation to you, Neerav, to bring back your focus, to bring back your motivation would be create effort goals, create learning goals, pursue your effort goals, pursue your learning goals, and express gratitude to yourself for whatever you are able to do during these times. So that's how I would manage energy and motivation and focus during these times. With that, let's go to the second question for the week. So Bhakti, what's the second question?
Our second question is from Tanya Berry. For a solopreneur, how should we start the process of scaling and making the choice of the right market, whether low pricing big quantities or high price small quantities?
Well, Tanya, if you have to choose between low pricing and larger volumes and high pricing and lower quantities or lower volumes, that choice is purely dependent on your strengths. What do I mean by your strengths? Consider this. If your strength is increasing and creating a distribution channel for a product or service, either by setting up a dealer distributor network, or by building a franchise network, or by doing internet marketing, social media marketing, or mass marketing, and making sure that whatever product or service you have, you are able to reach it, increase the volumes of it through this creation of distribution channels, dealer networks, and franchise networks. If your strength is that, then you look at something that is a low value, high volume, which is a low price, high quantity product or service. But if your strength is, let's just say, you have great product expertise, you have great industry expertise, you have great customer understanding and technology expertise in your particular domain, then be an innovator. Create something that is premium, create something that solves a significant problem, create something that is niche, that is high value, and look at exploring a business model where the value is high, the volumes may not be high. So Tanya, this choice purely depends on your strengths as an entrepreneur. If your strength is mass marketing and setting up distribution channels, low value, high volume is your way to go. And if your strength is innovation, industry knowledge, creation, then high value, low volume is your way to go. So that would be my recommendation to you, Tanya. With that, let's go to the third question for this week. So, Bhakti, what's the third question for this week?
Third question is from Jitesh. Too much analysis and self-talk are paralyzing. Thus, it leads to inaction. I feel I have acquired knowledge and skill, but I am unable to put them into action. Rajiv, please advise something that I take action all the time.
Well, Jitesh, if I have your permission, I'm going to contradict you a little bit here. So what you mentioned is you've gained a lot of knowledge and skill, but you're not able to take action. So you want a solution on how to be focused, how to not get stuck in this self-analysis, which is getting you into a paralysis mode and you're not able to take action, right? So I'm going to contradict you a little bit. Consider this, Jitesh. Firstly, understand the difference between knowledge and skill. Knowledge is information and data. Skill is ability to do something. Now, a lot of people go out there and learn many things. They learn through YouTube videos, they learn by reading books, they learn by attending webinars and seminars. They learn a lot of concepts, which is just information or data, and they gain knowledge. But knowledge is very different from skill. Some people most people after gaining knowledge believe that they know how to do things, which is not true. They actually don't know how to do things. Knowledge is only information and data. Skill is the ability. And the only way to develop the ability is to take action. Consider this. Only way to say that you know how to do something is to take action. Just because you know the concept does not mean you know how to do it. So Jitesh, I want to contradict you by saying that it's possible that you have knowledge, but it's also highly likely that you don't have the skill or ability, because the only way to develop that ability is to take action. And the journey of building the skill is this. It's action, then analysis, and then adaptation. Now, I'll tell you why I say this is the journey of building skills. When you learn something as a knowledge or information, you need to take action on it. And when you take action on it for the first time or the first few times, you will not get the desired results. You may not get the desired results. So what do you need to do? After that action, instead of getting disappointed and saying, oh, I learned this, but it's not working for me, and quitting, you need to analyze what worked, what did not work. You need to retain what worked. You need to adapt in areas which did not work. That's why I say the only way to develop skills is action, analysis, and adaptation. And when you go through repeated cycles of action, analysis, adaptation, action, analysis, adaptation, action, analysis, adaptation, and then you get the result, then you get that achievement. That's when you can say, I have the skills. So action plus analysis plus adaptation into 3, 4, 5 cycles equals achievement, and repetition of achievement equals saying, I have built the capability, I have built the skill. Now, the reason I'm breaking this down for you, Jitesh, is because like you, many people, when they learn, they hesitate in taking action, or they try taking action and they don't get the desired result and they quit. Okay, so I'm breaking this down for you to understand that the only way of developing skills, the only way of developing capabilities is by taking consistent action, and you're taking that action not with the objective to produce the result. If you get the result, that's a bonus. You're taking that action so that you can develop the capabilities. So, Jitesh, if you are telling me that you've learned a lot, you have the knowledge, but you're not taking action, it's because you are hesitating from failing when you take action. You're hesitating from the fact that you may not get the perfect output or the perfect result by taking action, or you've given up because you did not get the perfect output or perfect result. So keep aside that need for perfection. Keep aside that need to get things right. Be okay with failing to learn, and go out there and take action on whatever you have gained knowledge on, and do that repeatedly till you develop the skills. That's how you become a learner, a competent, capable person, and an action taker. I hope that makes sense for you, Jitesh. With that, let's go to the fourth and final question for this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv. So, Bhakti, what's the fourth question?
The fourth question is from Ali Tabish. We are into insurance. How do we pitch our services to customers when we know that they are suffering just like us? The last thing someone wants is a person trying to close a sale on them or retain his existing business. How to be empathetic at the same time be a salesman?
Well, Ali, what I would say is that empathy is not something that you carry only because right now there is a pandemic and people are having income challenges, and therefore you don't want to come across as somebody who's pushing to close the sale with them. I don't think you need to practice that empathy only during the pandemic. I think that empathy needs to be there throughout as a salesperson, because nobody likes to be sold to. Nobody likes somebody taking their product and shoving it down the customer's throat. Nobody likes that. I probably feel that right now what's happened is, in your mind, this pandemic has created such a huge scar that nobody has money, and if I'm taking people's money away, I'm doing something wrong to them. Firstly, heal that scar, my friend, because it's as good as believing that your product is not useful. Let me ask you a question, Ali. Do you believe that the insurance that you sell really is of value to your clients? Because if you believe that, whether there is a pandemic or whether there is no pandemic, as long as a product or service is of value to a customer, as a salesperson or as an entrepreneur, you need not have the hesitation. Okay? It's almost as though saying that if the times are normal and people have money, then I can take their money for the insurance. But because the times are difficult and people don't have money, then I should not take their money. Then you are telling me that you will ask people for money only when they have the money. You will not ask people for money because your product is of value. So Ali, firstly, look at the way you're looking at your own product and look at the way you're looking at the market. Okay. Secondly, I would say, as a salesperson, not just during the pandemic, but even beyond the pandemic, have the philosophy of serving rather than selling. What do I mean by serving? I'm not just throwing a word at you. I'll define serving for you. Serving is to do what is right for the customer. That's what serving is, to do what is right for the customer. So if you believe by taking that decision to buy that insurance, a person securing their family, and that is right for them, then it is your duty to serve, and it is your duty to make sure you help that customer make that decision quickly without delay. So serve, don't just sell. And lastly, if you feel there is this emotional residue of the pandemic within you, where there's this hesitation or fear of, am I being too pushy, or am I being too nosy at this point of time for people by asking them to finalize or renew their insurance of the previous year, then the simplest thing you can do is state the obvious. Express your reality, express your truth to your client, where you can state in a sales meeting saying, okay, listen, I have this hesitation at this point of time, or I have this fear, but I don't want to push you or enforce anything on you. And here's what I believe is the right thing for you to do, which means during these times, just because you don't have the money, don't make the mistake of not renewing your insurance, or don't make the mistake of not buying an insurance. This is the time, if there is anything, you need to choose what is necessary for you. And if you feel this is necessary, then make that decision quickly. So state your fears and recommend to them what you truly believe is right for them. That's how I would handle this situation, Ali. So I hope that makes sense to you. With that, we come to the end of episode number 90 of Get Real with Rajiv. If you found value in this week's answers, then here's your next step. Make sure you click on the link below and register yourself for my 4-hour training called the Business Breakthrough Seminar. It's a 4-hour live training and all it's going to cost you is 99 rupees. Click on the link, register yourself, because in those 4 hours, I'm going to break down for you a step-by-step system to get out of firefighting, and I'm going to break down for you a step-by-step system to build a business which can grow without you. So click on the link below, and I look forward to seeing you at the Business Breakthrough Seminar.